This is a Sports Catastrophe production. Hey there, Heather Ho there. It's Jeff Cardano welcoming you to another Sports Catastrophe birthday boy. Another birthday boy for today, March the 31st, as we end another month on the calendar, is the big boy of American goaltending. He was one of the greatest American goaltenders of all time until Ryan Miller came along. But anyway, he played net 18 in 18 years. Played for Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Ottawa, Carolina, Toronto, and St. Louis. He was part of the coaching staff for the Carolina Hurricanes. He's actually the head coach of the Sheffield Steelers in England. He is Tom Barrasso, who turns 57 today. Tom Barrasso was a decent goalie and all that. He would be playing with fellow NHLers Bob Sweetie and Jeff Norton. And was one of the best American goaltending prospects of all time. And that's saying a lot because American goaltenders in the NHL were not really a dime a dozen. They were like a penny a dozen. Anywho, shockingly, in 1983, the Buffalo Sabres decided to spend their 5th overall pick on a goalie. That's unusual to have a goalie that high up in the draft, but Buffalo needed some goaltending. Bob Sove was getting long in the tooth and all that. And so too was Don Edwards. Kitchener. Anywho, Tom Barrasso could have went to college, but he skipped it. He went straight from high school to the NHL without even playing in the minor leagues. When he won a game, October 1983, he was the youngest goalie since Harry Lumley to do so, and memorably won the Calder and Vezina in his first season. It was hard to believe. Now remember, back in the old days, the Vezina Trophy was given to the team that had the least amount of goals given up in the regular season. Sometimes more than one goalie would win it. But anyway, it was amazing to see Tom Barrasso become a rookie of the year. Not only that, but he wins the goalie of the year. Wow. And this is in an era which there's like a lot of 6-5 games instead of 2-1s. Anyhow, Buffalo looked good and all that. Unfortunately, Buffalo grew tired of him and decided to trade him and a 3rd-round pick to Pittsburgh for Doug Bodger and Darren Shannon. The worst part was that Pittsburgh would rebuild with Barrasso being the cornerstone. Lemieux and Yager too, but Barrasso was the star goalie for the 91 and 92 Cup runs to get the Stanley Cup. But the thing is, Tom Barrasso did not play much in the 91 season. A lot of people say, well, he was the number 1 goalie in 91. Yeah. However, Barrasso got hurt in the first round against the New Jersey Devils, and it was up to Frank Pietrangelo to come in the net and actually save the day. And save the day he did. I mean, Pietrangelo is the goalie that made that famous save off Peter Stastny in the Devils in Game 6 of the first round. Or was it Game 7? I think it was Game 7. Without that, the Devils probably would have knocked down the Penguins, and who knows, maybe Boston might have won their Stanley Cup that they were craving for years. Giving Ray Bourque a title and maybe not getting him back to Colorado. Anyway, he was the money goalie and all that. Unfortunately, injuries would ruin his career in a sense. Especially in 97 when he got hurt, that had a young Patrick Lalime come in and set the record for best undefeated streak by a goalie to start his career. However, he won his 300th game and became the first American goalie to do so. Unfortunately, the local media did not help him in all that. Pittsburgh would wear their number 35. Would retire number 35. But Tristan Jarry wears 35, and there was some kind of local media problems. People say because of his unrelationship with the media, that's why Pittsburgh isn't retiring number 35. They only have Mario Lemieux and Michel Briere's jerseys retired, and Yager's number will probably be retired soon. Anyway, Pittsburgh knew they had to get rid of Barrasso, so they traded him to Ottawa for Ron Tugnut, which was a risky deal. Ron Tugnutt was the goalie that brought Ottawa to the 97 and 98 playoffs. You know, when Ottawa was a severe underdog, especially in 97, when they took the Sabres to a Game 7 in their first ever playoff series, and 98 when they shocked the Devils first round. He didn't do that well for Ottawa. However, Ottawa did tie the series with first round series with Toronto at 2, and then he gave a famous interview when he said on CBC, "I really don't give a shit what people have to say," as in the media. Of course, Barrasso would later apologize for his vulgar remarks, but he stood by his sentiments. Unfortunately, though, the Leafs would beat the Senators in 6 games in the first round. Barrasso decided not to re-sign with Ottawa. It was so bad that he didn't even want to play in 2001. So he spent out of hockey and played for Carolina for the 2002 season. He enjoyed some great international success, being part of the silver medal winning U.S. squad in the 2002 Winter Olympics. Of course, losing to Canada, but whatever. He would play for Ottawa, Carolina, Toronto, and St. Louis, basically bouncing around, and decided to retire in 2003. Barrasso didn't really play much for national squad, but he did okay and all that. Well, he's now in the IHL, the Italian Hockey League, as a coach now. Barrasso and his wife have 3 daughters. Their oldest, Ashley, survived a bout with neuroblastoma cancer and is part of a foundation, Cancer Research Fund. He does hold some NHL records. Most NHL points by a goalie in his career, 48. Well, all of them were assists. Most consecutive wins in one regular season, 14, when Pittsburgh went on that incredible run in late 93. Most consecutive playoff wins, 14 from May 92 to April 1993. Well, the Penguins won the Penguins, who were down 2-1 in the 92 playoffs to the Rangers, won the last 3 games of that series, swept Boston, swept Chicago. That made it 10, right? No, 13. No, 11, sorry. And then Pittsburgh won the first 3 games against the Devils in the playoffs, but lost game 4, but came back to win. Most consecutive wins in one playoff season, 11 in 1982. Shares that with Ed Belfour and I think Patrick Waugh. Most wins in one NHL playoff season, well, 16 is the mark. And most playoff wins by an American goalie, 61. Ryan Miller doesn't have that mark. So anyway, yeah, he would play, after 2000, he would play unmemorably bad. He could have been part of the 2002 Carolina Hurricanes team that got to the Stanley Cup Finals, but he was traded to Toronto. He only played 4 unmemorable games with the Leafs. So, yeah, he was a Leaf for 4 games. Anyway, 369 wins for him in 777 NHL regular season starts, 3.24 goals against, and 38 shutouts. Playoffs, 61 wins, 54 losses, 6 shutouts, and a 301 goals against average. So he did pretty well and all that. He's number 3. He's number 3 in all-time wins by a U.S.-born goalie. My question is, who's he behind for national? Oh, in America. Oh, Ryan Miller and John Van Beesbrook are the only 2 guys ahead of him. Oh yeah, the Beezer. Makes sense. But yeah, that's how it goes sometimes. Tom Barrasso was a decent goalie when he was for the Penguins. Otherwise, he was just shit. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.